Hi, welcome back to Home Ponton Social Security Disability Blog. I'm Natalia, Jofre, the Social Security Section Director.
And I'm Shelly, the Senior Social Security Attorney.
So we're talking about children's cases, and we've been talking about what it takes to be eligible for benefits. And one of the things that we mentioned in our last blog were IEP plans, which stands for
Individualized Education Plans.
And it's very complex, isn't it?
It really is.
So I'd like for you to kind of explain to everyone what an IEP plan is, how you apply for one, how it gets applied, all that good stuff.
Okay. So an IEP plan is it's a plan that is composed of by parents, educators, and doctors, everyone coming together at a table to figure out what accommodations need to be put in place to help a child be able to learn effectively. And you can apply, as long as you're in a public school, you can apply for this, by going to the guidance counselor, I would assume, or maybe the principal or the vice principal or someone in the administration of the school, and let them know that you feel like your child needs some type of accommodations. Usually this means it's either they're having behavioral issues or they're having academic issues or maybe both. And they should be able to work with you to put something in place to develop some kind of plan to get the child on track to be able to learn effectively and enjoy it.
And not it be so burdensome or so difficult.
Right. I mean, I always tell clients when I talk to them, like, the last thing we want is for children to hate education. Just because it's difficult, the last thing we want by the time that they're out of fifth grade is to not want to go to school every day. So it's really important to assist them in finding out what type of avenue is going to help them learn better, because everyone's so different when it comes to learning.
Yeah. What's it going to take for this particular child with their specific set of needs to flourish, right?
Exactly. And, we talked about needing to have a diagnosis earlier for Social Security, and this is also a requirement for the IEP plan. So the child will have to be in treatment. That can be documented, showing a diagnosis to get the IEP plan in place.
Okay. And so then once the IEP, now sometimes I've heard of parents having difficulty with IEP plans or getting them done. So it's not always that easy, right, to actually get it. Do you sometimes have to go through an appeals process, or how does that work?
I'm not exactly sure. Well, you can go through an appeals process. I do know that it can be difficult talking to parents, a lot of our clients and their parents, to get the IEP plan established. The diagnosis part can be a bit tricky for people too, because it has to be a diagnosis that they feel will support an IEP plan.
Right.
And not to get into it too much, but there are 504 plans, which your child may qualify for if they don't get an IEP. But it can be a difficult process. And even once it's in place, it can be a difficult process to have it enforced.
Right.
Or to have it updated.
I think that's where parents run into trouble, is when not everyone's on the same page. And so maybe the parent feels like there should be an IEP plan, but someone else is not in agreement, or it's not getting applied appropriately, or maybe the kind of accommodations the parents feel are necessary are not actually being supplied, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when those disconnects happen, is when parents start having more of a struggle. What's a 504 plan, just because you mentioned that?
It's a 504 plan is very much so like an IEP plan, but it is it helps in situations where you don't have that clear diagnosis.
Okay.
So you can still be provided accommodations without that diagnosis if you're approved for a 504 plan. Your school should be able to help you with this, or your child's school. The biggest thing that I've seen is that the parents have to be proactive.
Right.
Because a lot of times they're told no when they should be told yes. And I have a lot of clients who say, well, the school told me that she's not eligible. And I said, well, ask again, try again, push again.
Or go a different course.
Something.
So if you feel like your teacher's being unresponsive, go to the guidance counselor. If they're unresponsive, go to the principal. If the principal's unresponsive, go to the actual school. I've heard of a lot of people just contacting the actual school board directly.
Sure. And you can be represented.
Mhm.
You know, you can use an attorney. You can go and have an attorney sit with you during these meetings and propose
Mhm.
what accommodations that you feel like your child needs. So, you know, the level of involvement that you're going to have or that a representative is going to have is just going to have to depend on how your school works with you or how your
Right.
school board works with you and if they're able to meet, you know, the child's needs.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to keep talking about children's claims and all that they entail. But if you have any questions in the meantime, feel free to visit our website or call our office.
Thank you.